And it's 20 minutes where we talk about something digital learning, and it's always on Tuesday, and we do it every second week. So thank you for joining us again, whether you're watching online or whether you're joining us through the magic of YouTube. Excited today to have my good friend and somebody who I really think is one of our real leaders and thought leaders in the province around digital learning and a bunch of other stuff is Sarah Rankin. So Sarah's a learning specialist at EECD. And so today, last 2 weeks ago, we had a look at the resources that we here in the district have sort of compiled and curated into our digital responsibility framework. And today I've asked Sarah to come in and walk us through the learning activities resources and the PL hub that the EECD has put together. And it's a really rich compendium of all kinds of cool stuff. So I am just going to stop sharing and I'm going to, I need to do this first because I need to make Sarah a presenter. And there we go. And so Sarah's going to walk us through some really cool stuff that the district or that the department has. And away we go. So Sarah, over to you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. So yeah, what we're basically going to showcase today is just some of the options that are out there for teachers, leaders, administrators on what's out there for digital learning. So the one that's in front of you right now that I want to draw attention to, this is the Digital Learning SharePoint site. And what I'll do is, in case people are curious in the meeting right now and they want to go check it out, I will drop a link to it in the chat. But essentially, this is the hub that is put together by EECD for really any resources that pertain to digital learning. So for example, if I go into the tab on digital literacy, you'll find the digital literacy framework here. And the digital literacy framework is a K-12 framework that really forms the backbone of digital education in New Brunswick, drawing attention to things like digital citizenship, well-being, critical inquiry, creativity, communication, and computational thinking. And so when we think about digital literacy, really, this is the document that we want everybody to be directing themselves toward. Beyond that, there's also under the digital pedagogy tab, you'll find some tabs in here about special topics of interest that you might want to learn more about, or special events. So for example, if you're curious to know more about artificial intelligence, we have a whole page on this site that is dedicated exclusively to AI. It has a ton of resources on it. At last count, there was well over 100. And we tried to break it down into the 3 categories that we thought might be relevant. So professional learning is one of them. So this would be any resources for teachers or leadership to learn more about AI. Pedagogy, which would be how does this fit into my context, my classroom, my content area, my grade level. And then finally, guidelines and policies. So these are just some examples of guidances and thoughts around policy from not necessarily New Brunswick, but from other jurisdictions. If you're looking for the particular guidance on AI from the province, there is a tab, a link here, EECD's recommended approaches to generative AI, but obviously your district here in the West has their own guidance as well, and I would definitely encourage you to go and refer to that as well. We do also have in here some of the digital learning services that are available. So these would be subscriptions that people can access for free through these various things. So Sora would be one of them. If you're familiar with Sora, a lot of elementary schools really like it. It's an online learning library, and I manage that one right now. And I do my best to keep it up to date with new books for kids and new professional learning resources for teachers as well. Tumble Books is another one that's quite popular. And if you're looking for research services for your students or even for yourself, if maybe you are, in the middle of your BED or your MED, we have access to things like EBSCO and open access journals and the Canadian Encyclopedia services. Beyond that, the other resource I want to point out is the PL Hub, the Professional Learning Hub. This is a project that came out of EECD a few years back. And essentially what it is a collection of professional learning opportunities that are completely free. for New Brunswick Education. The website itself is public facing, so it doesn't require a login to access it, unlike a SharePoint site. The only thing that you would have to use your MBEd login for to gain access to is anything under the Brightspace tab. Not everything is a Brightspace course on here, but there are some that do leverage that. So for example, you'll find tabs like this one, which is our brand new technology plan that was released not too long ago. Actually, it's pretty fresh. So if you wanted to learn more about that technology plan, you can go there and either take a look at the technology plan or hop over to the Leveraging Technology site, which has lots of details on it as well. What I really like about this is the ability to kind of filter through to find things that you might need more specificity on. So for example, if you are concentrating on, let's say, climate change education, you can filter that and you'll see there's a couple of options there. There's some great resources specifically for digital learning on here. So for example, if you're a middle level technology teacher, you may want to go and check out this tab here. It's got some good resources. If you're new to learning how to use microbits, there's one there for microbits as well. The microbit course, this is an example of one that does leverage D2L Brightspace. So if you come through here and you click on this link, you can self-enroll into that course. You just log in with your MBEd credentials and you're in. And then you can open the course and see what's inside and go through the different modules of the course. Beyond the PL Hub, there is also our centers of excellence. So right now I'm kind of holding down the fort with the Center of Excellence for Digital Innovation. And there are some great activities that we've put together on here for K-12 learners on a variety of topics within digital education. So for example, this is one that we added just very recently, which is about copyright and plagiarism as it relates to AI. So this is actually a grade 6 to 12 language arts lesson. And again, completely free. It's got some built-in resources in it as well. So there's a reflection tool that comes along with it. And there is also a link to a bot that I designed in School AI that allows students to sort of interact and learn more about using AI to mitigate, not mitigate rather, but to investigate their work as it pertains to copyright and plagiarism. Another example would be this lesson here. This one's more of a middle level lesson about creating interactive stories using microbits. And again, you can just go through and it will tell you the curricular outcome. It will tell you the global competency connections. What aspects of it do you need? I try my best with any of the lessons that I design to highlight very clearly that if you need an extra set of hands with these lessons, if you're not familiar with how to use a microbit, or if you're not familiar with tools like School AI or Canva or any of those platforms that we use frequently, that your best go-to in those scenarios is your district's technology team. So getting connected with your technology coordinator in your district, connecting with a technology coach who can come in to your classroom and work with you to upskill and support that lesson and be an extra set of hands. And sometimes really that's what we need in the classroom when we're using new technologies, is just somebody there to help us out and be those extra set of hands. So those are really the big pieces I wanted to show people, was the digital learning hub on SharePoint, the PL hub, and the Center of Excellence as well. Not sure if there was other pieces that you wanted me to showcase, Jeff, or if there's
No, and just so those of you who are just joining us, Sarah has put some links in the chat, and I will also, when we put it online in YouTube, if you're watching there, I'll put the links down in the description for the YouTube video as well, follow up. No, that's great, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I see a bunch of people joined us, probably expecting it at 3:40, but we were going a little early today to meet some other schedules. So if you did miss it and you're here, our apologies, but you can also go back and watch it online. It'll be up there in the next day or two. So
and
thank you very much.
If there's any questions that anybody has either too, I'm happy to answer those. If they need to get a hold of me, you can just reach me at sarah.rankin@gnb.ca, and I'll do my best to get back to you with whatever questions, hopefully a solution for you.
Perfect. And as Sarah said, if you're looking for support on any of these, our digital learning team is available. I think I've shared it, and that is Lindsay, Joel, Wayland, Yvette, Wendy, or myself. You can reach out to any of us, one that you're familiar with, and we would be glad to come and help you walk through it, and even give you some classroom support as you go through some of these activities, or and start exploring some of these with your students. Thanks so much, Sarah. Good to see you again. Always appreciate you coming on and sharing what the department has going on. It's really built a great repository for teachers.
Well, thanks for having me, Jeff, and thanks for letting me share a little bit.
Good. Okay. Thank you all, everybody, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks' time on Tech 20 Tuesday. Bye-bye.